Welcome to the R Readiness Lens podcast, where we're focused on numbers and driven by results. I'm your host, Sheri Radler, and each week we'll take a closer look at practical ways to get your business ready for what's next. From firm planning for the upcoming quarter to finding the right health insurance for your team. Whether you're a small or mid-sized business owner looking for advisory support or just want to better understand your numbers, you're in the right place. Let's get started. So hi, I'm Sheri, and welcome to episode 4 of R Readiness Lens. This episode is the business owner's mirror test, and it is actually based on the conversations we've had over the last couple episodes. During our first episode, we talked about what is the readiness lens. It was our kickoff episode, and it talked about how readiness isn't just for exits. It is for building a solid, sustainable business wherever you are at in your growth and your business. Our second episode talked about the chutes and ladders of business growth. Because let's be honest, this is a game called life, and our business is on a journey. So we get to points that we call them ladders. These are opportunities to level up in our world. We can fast quicks where we want to go. We also have those chutes. Those are those things that happen, churn, turnover, emergencies, these things that are unanticipated, unexpected. But when they happen, they can really kick us back on our heels if we are not what? If we're not ready for them. The third episode talked about, is your business too dependent on you? And this is where we wanted to talk about breaking that founder dependency, that mindset of the warning signs of where you have this mindset of everything has to go through you. This mindset that as the business owner, you are the sole person that can be responsible for everything in your world. And importantly here, we talked about how that is not how we want you to look at this, because all of those big companies, those C-suites, they are there to support you. And as a business owner, you have that of your own. It could be your outsourced accountant, tax group, financial advisor, marketing group, insurance agent. But we are encouraging you to leverage those resources of those external and your own leadership. And then today we're going to talk about that business owner's mirror test. So if you're today, take the time, go back, read over these other couple episodes, and come back and find where you are in your own business. When we talk about our businesses and we look at how things are going to go, so many of the problems we run into are caused by people. Let's be honest, people stink sometimes. It gets very people-y out there. But truthfully, yes, it's the people that cause issues and concerns and issues in our business. But when you look at that, how often is that person actually us? How often are we getting in our own way, saying we want to do something verbally, but then actually our actions preventing us from accomplishing it? So we're going to take that minute and we're going to take the assessment and we're going to decide, where are we on our business? Are we the bottleneck? Are we what's holding it back and preventing something from coming through? Are we the driver of our business? Are we setting the stage, setting the strategy, and setting the journey of where we want to go? Or are we truly in our own blind spot and aren't even aware of it, that we need to get out of our own way? So let's talk about what each of these could be. Okay, the bottleneck means everything requires you. Everything in your business comes through you. You are the central. No decisions get made. Every day there's a line out your door of people saying, hey, boss, I got a question. If you go home at the end of the day and your head is just spinning because all you have done all day long is bat balls from people coming at you, you're likely a bottleneck. If no decisions can be made without you having to sign off on them, if every person is coming to you to get it done, or even more dangerously, if you've got this mindset that you may as well do it yourself. It's just faster if I do it myself. I don't got time to slow down to show someone else how to do it. Guess what? You're a bottleneck. Because at the end of the day, we want to take all these things that are dependent on you, frame them so you can slide them to the right off of your plate and allow those decisions, those actions, and that flow of operations to be done around you, not always through you. Because you know what happens if you're the bottleneck? You need to leave your business. Can they make the decisions? Can they keep it functioning? Is the operational going to come back to you? And I know we hear these stories all the time. I mean, it's almost one of those empty threats. Can you leave your business for 2 weeks and come back? But I mean, recently I went to a conference and ran across a firm owner, another associate, and was like, wow, you look different. You cut your hair. And she's like, no, honey, you're forgetting that I lost all of this. Because in January of this year, she had been diagnosed with breast cancer. And 11 months later, she is still through treatment, and she has at least 7 months scheduled going out on chemotherapy. And for her, she was talking about how it was her team that has seen her through. It is her team that has kept their clients going. It is her team that has helped keep that business going so that while she is dealing with what she needs to do in her life, her mortgage remains paid. Her team is still being supported. Her clients are still being provided the services that they need. And as she walks through this segment of her life, she's not losing everything in the process. And this is why we're doing this, because life happens to all of it. Definitely was not what this 41-year-old woman was expecting with 3 kids under the age of 8. But coming out of this year, she still has this business that she went. She's not having to sacrifice it on the altar of her health. And that was because she was not the bottleneck in her business. So who are we wanting to be in our business? We want to be the driver. Because truthfully, when we get on this journey and we do anything, think of the car in your yard. You don't drive it by pushing it from behind. You drive it by sitting in the seat, putting both hands on the steering wheel and going for it. So that's where we want you to get. We want you to be the visionary, the strategist, the person that is mapping this journey, pegging the horizon and saying, this is where we want to go, and incorporating your team to bring it along. So that is the position we want, because there allows you to gain opportunities. There it allows you to be open when something happens, because you know what you should do. And when everything is documented and workflowed and strategies, decisions can be made at the right level. And not all of those decisions have to be made at your level. Let's let them get made at the level they can, the lowest level in which they can winnow down to, so that only those important ones do come up to you. Because this is where readiness and scaling do come together. This is where your mindset, your message, your operations come in play. Because when we look at our business, let's just be honest, our numbers reflect the story of our operations. The operations are the decisions we make, but the numbers are what spin out and turn into real cash, and that's what funds our business. That is what helps our families. That is where we're trying to go. So it is a very interrelated relationship, but it has to be driven by the decisions being made in your business. Sitting in the driver's seat is the key to all of it. So we've talked about a bottleneck and we've talked about the drivers. What is the last part? What if I ask you both of those questions and you don't see yourself in either one of those? Well, guys, that just might be, you could be your own blind spot. You could really be the person that's not aware that you need to get out of your own way because you're causing half your own problems. Are you walking in every week telling your team all these things we want to do, but we never actually go to fruition? Do they just die on the vine because you're just the idea guy all the time? Every week is a new idea. We can exhaust our teams like that. We really can. Do we put decisions off? Do you have analysis paralysis on decisions? So you kind of keep delaying them and pushing them down. Remember, not all of those decisions have to be made by you. Talk to that leadership team. Bring it to the table. And if the team you have in the office isn't who you want to talk to about this, pick up the phone. Call your accountant. Call your marketing group. Call your insurance agent. What is the topic? You got somebody to call and say, I need to run this through with you. Help me make this decision. Maybe it is the person on the other side of the kitchen table. Shockingly, they probably know way more about your business than you give them credit for, because even though they're not going to work with you every day, they are living it. They know what's going on. So we want to understand that our blind spots aren't necessarily weaknesses. They're just dark corners. We got to shine lights on them. We got to figure out what they are. And then we got to turn around and decide what are the actions that need to take. You know, if you're looking at your world and you're like, I don't look at my numbers, I don't talk to anyone, I just kind of have a feeling for what's going on. Some of you guys are really spot on. You can tell me based on the number of, the phone's ringing this much, this many trucks are coming to the door, and shockingly how well you're good. Others of you, I got to tell you, you have an overinflated sense of exactly how well you're off, and we do want to bring this back down to reality a bit. So we're going to introduce and actually share a workbook with you that we're really hoping you'll walk through and take a walk through and see where you are at. Ask yourself some of these questions. Are all the decisions coming through you? Does your team come to you for permission on every single decision they take? Are they avoiding questioning and actually pushing back on any of your decisions? Have you just gotten to the point where yes, boss is the answer? Yes, boss is a dangerous place to live. So we really want to talk to it. Like, where do you spend your time in the week? Are you putting out fires every day, or are you coming in with a plan, talking to your team, and driving it forward? All of these and more are some of the questions we're going to lay out on this mirror test, and we're really hoping you kind of walk through it. Take yourself 10, 15 minutes. This is no grade. You're not sharing it with anyone. So give yourself that honest assessment. Where are you? And then when you do that assessment, you're going to find out where you are. And then our next hope is that you're going to look, and even if you are the driver of your business, what is something that is still on you that we can shift to the left? If you're the bottleneck of your business, well, let's talk about why. Do you not trust your team? Are you not confident in your team? Or you just have done it all along and you don't even know where to start to hand off, so you don't start? There's different reasons that you become the bottleneck, but all of them takes you from here that we want to break you out a little bit. And then finally, if you truly are the blind spot in your business, again, this isn't the worst thing. We're great that we're recognizing it now. So let's stop, take it back. When you look around holistically, where do we make our money? Where do we spend our money? Where do our people spend their time? These are the questions, and if you can walk through your business and understand your operations here, you don't have a blind spot. But if you hit any of those and you're like, I really don't know what that person does down there in that office, well, not only is it a blind spot for you, but is it a risk for your business if they disappeared for tomorrow? So that's it. Understand what's going on. Let's build out that framework. Let's understand where they were and just pick one. And if you go through this and you don't know which one to pick, give us a call. We'll help you figure it out. We're sharing what the business owner's mirror test looks like. And this is just a few short pages, a couple questions, but you're going to come in here and we're going to hold up that mirror. Who are we? Where we are? Because you can't fix what we don't look at. We don't know it's there if we don't shine a light. So we're going to come in and we're just going to take a little look and we're going to take a pulse. Where are we at? We've talked about operational readiness. We've talked about leadership readiness. We've talked about financial readiness. So let's take a moment and assess where we are on all of these in our own business. We're going to talk about some of the questions about drive readiness and why it's important to assess them with our business, and how some questions that we're hoping will engage you to think as you look through this mirror and the lens for your world. Finally, you're going to score yourself as you go through this. And this is going to help you assess exactly where you are on your own staircase within your own business and help you identify your just next steps. And finally, we're going to talk to you about what those next steps should be. Just some insights, some ideas, and just a little bit of a reflection that your leadership needs to shift from here to here so that your business steps forward and runs because of you, grows with you, not dependent on you. Take a moment, go to the show notes, find the link for this workbook, and take your 10-15 minutes and do your own personal mirror test. Let us know how that turns out. Bye. Thanks for joining me on the R Readiness Lens podcast. If you found this episode helpful, connect with me on LinkedIn and follow along on Instagram for more tips and resources. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, be sure to rate the podcast and subscribe so you never miss an upcoming episode. Until next time, keep your numbers clear and your goals in focus.